Every injustice will be righted. So there's a couple of interesting phenomena that I want to talk about here. One is that people have a sense of accountability in their own minds and fairness. So a lot of human thinking seems to be, this person helped me, like the idea of reciprocity. That's one of Cialdini's 6 signs of influence, that, people that have helped us, we want to help them in return. Kind of unfairness, this person was unfair to me. People hold either grudges or want things to be corrected. We have the legal system in terms of justice, the famous balance of scales associated with it. I mean, obviously you could argue how much that the justice system actually promotes justice versus what it doesn't, but I'm not going to get into that, political. It's basically that we do have laws because we want to be a just society. That's the purpose of them. And there's also notions of cosmic justice that, whether you call it the golden rule or karma. I don't believe we live in a complete meritocracy. I've done other podcasts, good things. I always say it backwards. I always say good things happen to bad people, which is sometimes true also, but bad things happen to good people. But cosmically, we do have a sense, I don't know if it's inbuilt to human nature, but, we do have a sense that, some people say what goes around comes around, some people say karma, some people say the golden rule. But I want to talk about a couple of psychological phenomena related to this, and I've talked about them in my 2 books on that talk about the psychology and spirituality of success. So one is that we have kind of a spiritual energy that permeates our mind and our hearts that radiates towards justice. And so, we always think about the people in our lives and about how they helped us or how they neglected to help us, or, perhaps even we feel hurt us. And we want to kind of balance those scales. Like even people that have been deceased, we can have either positive or negative feelings towards them. We can feel like, love and closer to them, and appreciative, or we can feel, distant or hurt or resentful. So we're always trying to, in our own minds, kind of balance the scales. And a lot of human interaction basically is geared towards fairness, reciprocity, obligation, accountability. So everything from courts to judges to police to, teachers to, we're meant to have a role that promotes accountability and justice and fairness and rewards. So teachers teach, police, judges judge. It's just the function of the role that we're in, that we're supposed to kind of make things equitable and more towards fairness, of what we're supposed to do. Now, another phenomenon I talk about in the book is called the top half manages down and the bottom half manages up. So everybody is accountable. So like if you're president of the United States or a U.S. senator or something like that, you have a lot of people scrutinizing you, and they're going to write blogs about you and articles about you. CNN's going to write about you, analyze what you do. That's accountability for people that are more in the public eye. And I don't really believe in the dimension of top versus bottom. I just call it that because I don't know better words for it. If you do, please let me know. But because we all go through life, we all kind of start at the bottom, so to speak. Like some people maybe are born with a silver spoon or a trust fund, but generally in life you have to work your way up, both in a job and in relationships and in life, a career and industry. So the people that are that have achieved a lot, relatively speaking, in their career or whatever, they get scrutinized by the masses, so that holds them accountable. So if they do something wrong or perceived wrong, even in sports, we have ESPN, it's all commentary about what people are doing. This athlete, is not improving. This athlete is hurting their team. This athlete, deserves more money, whatever. So, and then the other way, so, people that are just working their way up and haven't made it as far, they have more accountability for bosses. I mean, we all have bosses. Everybody has a boss. I mean, even the President of the United States has a boss of the American people in the Congress or whatever. But or the Supreme Court, or however you want to think about it, because there's not only checks and balances in government, but there's checks and balances in life. So, maybe you're starting out just working for minimum wage. You don't have as much control over your schedule or what you can do. I mean, you can't just show up at 9:30. You're scheduled at 9. You have to be there at 9. You get a 15-minute break or whatever. So it's highly regimented. So that's a high degree of accountability. So that's why I say the top half manages down, like employers manage employees. But in the same sense, employees also monitor and hold accountable employers, because we have labor unions, we have HR departments, we have labor departments. So basically everybody is accountable to everybody, and I think that's pretty much a good thing, because it all keeps us hopefully on the straight and narrow, to try to avoid trouble and prosper. So another thing I'll say is that this mutual accountability is just increasing with technology. So with the internet, it used to be that you were just accountable to your village, like everybody knew you, and that's why this is lessening in villages, because people are traveling more and living new places. So if you've lived in 10 different places, they don't know you as well as if everybody in the town lived there their whole life. So it used to be just like your village kept you accountable, because everybody knew each other, and they knew your parents, and they knew your grandparents. So everybody knew everything. Not everything, but So, but nowadays, like, people travel all over, so that people don't know each other as well. But the internet holds us accountable. Like on eBay, they have feedback. On Twitter, you can search a person's tweets forever. On Facebook, that lasts forever. So we have different accountability systems. Again, the media holds us accountable. I mean, sometimes the media perhaps has their own agenda. I'm not saying liberal or conservative, just in general, and I'm not going to say what I think those agendas are, because frankly, I'm not entirely sure, and because there's competing ideas about that. And secondly, everybody has their own opinion. But the larger point in the main is that with technology, we're going to be increasingly accountable. I mean, this is for good and for bad, because now we have mass surveillance, some countries more than others, facial recognition. With the Internet of Things, we're going to have all the cars connected, and sensors, and smart homes. So the degree of accountability, some people call it also efficiency. That's one aspect of it. Yeah, things are much more efficient, productivity gains, but that also leads to job losses. But it leads to, more benefits. Like now we have Alexa and Siri and Google. Prior to that, you had to memorize everything in school. Now you just have to use Google. So there's always two sides to the coin. But the basic idea is that the title, is kind of a little bit of a play, because not every wrong is righted. But I think with all these things, like just built into human nature, spirituality, and technology, the level of accountability is probably higher than it's ever been.